Cost sharing. We started to see an uptick in the amount of subsites that are cost sharing, and that's okay. If they want to cost share, that is totally up to them. But especially for our federal subawards, as soon as a subsite voluntarily commits cost sharing, it's now trackable and reportable and is required to be reported on under the uniform guidance. There is a definition for voluntary committed cost sharing. And so if a subsite's PI is giving effort but not drawing any salary, that's voluntary committed cost sharing. We might not see this too often, but just be aware of it. We've seen a lot of subsites recently where the investigator is giving effort but not drawing salary. So in that case, we do need to identify it as cost sharing, or they need to revise the budget to include the PI drawing salary. So for now, the form is defaults to no, because that's what most sites are going to be. But if they are cost sharing, just click yes and then add. One note: working capital advance, that's still the same. It's yes, effort in kind is cost sharing. There is no under the federal regulations, there is no effort in kind. So just be aware that effort in kind is cost sharing.
Philip, can you clarify if that's for the HHMI investigators as well?
Yeah, so there's more. I have more in the instructions as well on this. So things like, that's a good quote by Julie Tang. Why would anyone be kind enough to donate their time? But I have more information in the instructions on it as well. HHMI is not well, technically it is cost sharing, but HHMI has an agreement. I think this is the right explanation. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they have an agreement with the NIH where they pay the full salary of the investigators. And so they are not allowed to draw salary from their research grants because their full salary is covered by HHMI. And one of the things about HHMI investigators is they're really good about adding that paragraph into the budget justification. And so if the budget justification has that information, and we can see that, I've seen it for HHMI investigators, we can go with it. It's not cost sharing. We don't have to, it kind of is cost sharing, but it's not cost sharing that we have to track. So we're not worried about it and having to report on it. And plus the budget justification clearly identifies that information and specifically spells it out. Occasionally, we see this with a few foreign universities. A few of the European ones may fully support the investigators' salaries, and they're not allowed to draw salary from their research grants. If that's the case, that should also be added into that budget justification because it further supports why we are not tracking the cost sharing.